Welcome to our deep dive today.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be looking at the subconscious
Okay.
and how that affects pretty much everything we do,
Right.
from motivation to learning to
Yeah.
even fear.
Uh-huh.
And to help us unpack all this,
Yeah.
we have an expert with us
Great.
who is a world champion trainer.
Wow.
And he has all this experience not just with training world champions, but also with
Yeah.
the psychology behind it.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. So welcome.
Oh, it's great to be here.
Yeah. So much going on under the surface, right?
Absolutely. It is amazing how much we're not aware of.
I mean, I think we all kind of have that experience of really struggling with a goal or trying to learn something new or even like sticking to a routine.
Uh-huh.
It feels like such a chore.
It does.
But then those things that we do
Right.
where it's like effortless,
Uh-huh.
like I'm thinking about like binge watching a show.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, when you're really into it, you don't even think about it.
No, you don't.
You're just
engrossed.
yeah, you're just like
Yeah.
consuming it.
That's right.
So what is it about those things that we love that makes it so
Well, it seems to me like
effortless?
it really comes down to
Yeah.
whether it's driven by our conscious mind
Mhm.
or our subconscious mind.
Okay.
When something is driven by our subconscious desires,
Yeah.
it just doesn't require the same level of effort.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So how do we tap into that?
Well, that's a great question.
I mean, I know you've got this incredible story
I do.
about your wife
Yeah.
and how she became a world champion
Yes, she did.
and like so quickly.
Yeah, it was really remarkable
Yeah, so what was
how she did it.
what was the secret there?
Well, the secret weapon, I guess you could call it,
Okay.
was a technique called anti-phobia.
Anti-phobia.
Yes.
Okay, so break that down for us.
So instead of focusing on, the fear of failure or the difficulty of the training, they focused on building up this kind of subconscious desire
Okay.
for the feeling of accomplishment.
Oh, so you're rewiring
Yeah,
the brain to actually crave
exactly.
the challenge.
Crave the challenge, crave pushing the limits.
So instead of dreading the work, it's like,
Yes.
I want to do the work because I want...
Because you want that feeling.
Yeah, I want that feeling at the end.
Exactly. It's all about the reward.
I mean, that is fascinating.
It is.
So, I mean, listener, think about a challenge you're facing right now.
Yeah.
Could you reframe it
Mhm.
to kind of build that anti-phobia muscle?
I think so.
I mean, it's pretty powerful
It is really powerful.
to think that we could change our perspective like that.
And it just highlights how much influence our subconscious really has on us.
On everything.
On everything we
So if it
do.
worked for a world champion,
Yeah.
what does that mean for the rest of us?
Right.
Most of us aren't trying to
Yeah.
win a gold medal.
Win a gold medal.
Right. But we're all
Sure.
facing our own challenges.
We are.
So how do we
How do we apply?
apply it in everyday life?
Right. So it's all about understanding
Yeah.
how the subconscious operates.
Okay.
So here's an example. Okay.
Yeah.
Think of the number 7. I just said that.
Yeah.
And now it's in your mind.
Yeah.
You didn't consciously try to memorize it,
No,
but it's there.
it is there.
And I bet most of your listeners are thinking about the number 7 right now.
I would be willing to bet a lot of money on that.
Right. And that's the subconscious at work.
Yeah.
It's always absorbing information.
Wow.
Making connections, even when we're not consciously aware of it.
So it's working for us or against us
It is
all the time.
all the time.
I mean, think about like song lyrics that just pop into your head
Oh, yeah.
or you can't forget something
Yeah.
unpleasant.
That's right.
That's the subconscious, right?
It is your subconscious calling the shots.
So if we can understand how it works,
Yeah.
then we can start to use it.
To our advantage.
Okay, so how do we start to understand?
Right.
I mean, it seems pretty mysterious.
Well, our expert actually uses a really powerful story to illustrate this.
Right.
He calls it Tobias and the Giant.
Okay, Tobias in the China.
So picture a little boy named Tobias,
Okay.
and he's happily flying a kite in a field. He's so caught up in playing that he starts walking backwards. And he's completely unaware that he's heading straight for this steep cliff.
Oh, no.
Suddenly, this giant appears out of nowhere
Okay.
and scoops Tobias up in his massive arms,
Wow.
saving him from falling over the edge.
Oh, my gosh.
But Tobias is terrified.
Right.
He doesn't understand what happened. He just remembers the fear and the pain
Yeah.
of being grabbed so forcefully.
So how does this relate to our subconscious?
Well, Tobias represents all of us.
Okay.
The giant is our powerful subconscious mind.
Okay.
And the precipice is any fear or challenge we face.
Yeah.
So our subconscious, like the giant,
Is always working to protect us,
Mhm.
even if its methods seem harsh.
Yeah.
or confusing at times.
Even when we think we're in control.
Yeah.
Our subconscious is...
Working in the background.
Yeah.
Keeping us safe.
From danger.
From perceived danger.
Right. But the danger isn't always real.
That's right.
Sometimes it's just our fear.
Yeah, our fear of failure or anxiety.
Yeah, and that can hold us back.
Absolutely it can.
So I'm starting to see why understanding this giant is so important.
It is.
We need to learn how to work with it.
Yeah.
Not against it.
Exactly. Because when we constantly fight our subconscious, it just creates inner conflict.
Yeah.
And prevents us from reaching our full potential.
Right. So we've got to figure out how to make friends with this giant.
We do.
Because otherwise it's going to...
It's going to cause problems.
Yeah, it's going to be a constant battle.
Yeah.
Which is no fun.
No fun at all.
So how do we befriend this giant? That's a great question, and that's what we're going to talk about.
I can't wait.
After the break. So it really is a powerful metaphor.
It is. I'm just picturing this giant.
Yeah.
Like trying to save us from a paper cut.
Right.
By like chopping off our whole hand.
Yeah, it's like, whoa there, giant. Come down a little bit.
Yeah, I'm starting to see why our expert emphasizes befriending this giant.
Yes.
Because if we don't,
it's going to be
a mess.
A constant struggle.
Yeah. So how do we do that?
Well, the key is to understand that fighting the giant is futile.
Okay.
We need to understand its motivations.
Okay.
Its language. You know, it's not trying to hold us back. It's trying to keep us safe.
Right. So even those feelings of like fear or anxiety.
Exactly.
It's not necessarily that we should push them away.
Right.
It's more like, okay, giant, I see you.
I see you.
I hear you.
What are you trying to tell me?
What is it you're concerned about?
Right.
But how do we know when to listen and when to kind of
push forward?
Yeah.
Well, that's where the 3 keys come in.
The 3 keys?
Yes.
Okay, so remind us what those are.
Okay, so the 3 keys are bless and appreciate the giant's protective role.
Okay.
Avoid creating artificial precipices. And be your own best friend.
Right.
Those are the 3 keys.
Okay, so let's break those down a little bit.
Okay.
What does it mean to like bless and appreciate the giant's protective role?
So it doesn't mean we give in to our fears.
Okay.
It means we acknowledge them. We recognize that this is the giant's attempt to keep us safe.
Yeah.
So instead of berating ourselves for feeling afraid.
Like, oh, come on, why am I so scared?
Exactly.
Just get over it.
We can say, hey, thank you for trying to protect me.
Oh, okay.
I see that you're concerned, but I'm going to be okay.
Interesting.
So it's shifting that perspective from judgment to compassion for ourselves and for our fears.
Treat the giant.
Yes.
With a little kindness. Okay, that makes sense.
And the second key, avoiding artificial precipices.
Okay, yeah, this is
a big one.
It's huge.
Because we often create these dramatic scenarios in our minds.
Yes.
These what if I fail stories.
Oh, yeah.
That trigger the giant's overprotective instincts.
It's like we're building the cliff.
Exactly.
Ourselves.
Yeah, we're building our own cliff.
And then we're like, why is the giant freaking out?
Yeah, why is he grabbing me?
I mean, this makes me think about all the times I've psyched myself out.
Oh, yeah?
Of doing something.
For sure.
Because I was so afraid of like what might happen.
Right, and that's the key.
Yeah.
Recognizing those artificial precipices.
Okay.
And dismantling them.
So taking a step back.
Yes.
Getting a little perspective.
Yes, getting some perspective and asking ourselves, what's the worst that could really happen? And often the answer is not nearly as catastrophic as our subconscious fears.
Okay, so being realistic.
Yes.
About the situation.
Be realistic.
Not reckless.
Yes. Not reckless, but realistic. And then the third key, being your own best friend.
Oh, I like this one.
This is crucial.
Yeah.
Because we tend to be much harder on ourselves.
Oh, absolutely.
Than we would ever be on anyone else.
Yeah, it's like if a friend came to us.
Exactly.
With like the same fear.
Right.
We would never
talk to them the way we talk to ourselves.
No, we would be so kind.
So kind and understanding.
And encouraging.
Yes.
But then when it's us, we're like.
We're our own worst critic.
You're a loser.
Yeah.
You're never going to amount to anything.
Exactly. And that negative self-talk
does not help.
It does not help. It actually sabotages our efforts.
Yeah. It's like we're feeding the giant.
Yes, we are feeding the giant.
All this negativity.
All this negativity. And it's just reinforcing those protective instincts.
This makes me think about like those peak performance moments.
Yeah.
Like when an athlete is competing.
Yes.
At the highest level.
Right.
I mean, the pressure must be immense.
Oh, the pressure is incredible.
Like, do they feel the giant?
They do.
Like more intensely?
Absolutely.
Than the rest of us?
Yes, because the stakes are so high.
So how do they manage that?
Well, even world champions experience those subconscious pressures.
Right.
The key is how they respond to them.
Okay.
They understand that their worth isn't defined by the outcome.
So it's not that the pressure goes away.
No.
It's that they react differently.
They have a different relationship with the pressure.
Okay. Do you have any examples?
Sure. Take Messi, for instance.
Okay.
Arguably the greatest footballer of all time.
Yeah.
Yet he's faced his share of setbacks and defeats.
Of course.
But instead of letting those moments define him, he uses them as fuel to improve, to refine his skills.
So he acknowledges the giant.
He does.
But he chooses to focus on what he can control.
Exactly, on his effort, his dedication, his passion for the game.
That's powerful.
It is.
So it's not about being perfect.
No.
It's about embracing the process.
Yes.
The ups and downs.
The ups and downs.
And learning from everything.
Absolutely. And having that self-compassion.
Self-compassion.
Understanding that even when we make mistakes, we're still worthy and capable.
I love that.
Yeah.
So it's really amazing how much our subconscious, influences our actions.
For sure.
Even when we don't realize it.
Right.
And we've been talking about, like, befriending this inner giant.
Yes.
Understanding its language.
Yes.
Working with it, not against it.
Right.
But all sounds a little abstract.
Yeah, it can.
So, like, what are some concrete things that people can do?
Yeah, what can our listeners do
to start applying this in their own lives?
Right. Well, one really powerful technique is visualization.
Okay, so, like, if I want to run a marathon, I should picture myself crossing the finish line.
Exactly. But make it more than just a snapshot.
Okay.
Engage all your senses. Imagine the sights, the sounds, even the way your muscles feel as you push towards that goal.
So the more real I make it?
Yeah. The more detail you conjure, the more real it becomes to your subconscious.
So it's like creating a blueprint.
Yes, a mental blueprint.
For success.
For success, exactly.
And then my subconscious is like, oh.
Okay.
This is the plan.
This is what we're doing.
This is what we're doing.
I remember our expert mentioned that he used visualization.
He did.
With his wife.
Yes.
During her training.
Yes.
And it wasn't just like the physical aspect of the sport.
Right. It was the mental state.
It was like the focus, the confidence.
Exactly.
So she was training her mind.
Yes, training her subconscious.
Perform at its peak.
Yes, by visualizing those mental states.
Yeah.
She was essentially building the neural pathways associated with success.
So when the pressure was on,
yes,
those pathways were already there.
They were ready to be activated.
Wow. That is incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I mean, to think that we have this power.
We do.
To shape our reality.
To shape our own reality through the power of our minds.
It's incredible.
It is pretty incredible.
And the best part is visualization is a skill anyone can develop.
Oh, go.
It's not just for athletes or performers.
So whether my goal is to, write a book.
Write a book. Start a business.
Or just be a better friend.
Improve your relationships.
Visualization can help.
Visualization can help you get there.
Okay, so we visualize our goals.
Yes.
We befriend our inner giant.
Befriend the giant.
We treat ourselves with kindness.
Kindness and understanding.
What a powerful combination.
It is powerful.
I mean, it really all comes down to perspective, doesn't it?
It really does.
When we see our subconscious as an ally.
Yes.
Not an enemy.
As a source of strength. Yeah. Not a limitation.
It's like we unlock. This
whole new level.
That we never knew we had.
Yeah. And this has been so eye-opening.
It has.
I feel like I've gained a whole new understanding of how my mind works.
Of how your mind works.
Yes.
And, just the incredible possibilities that exist when we learn to work with it.
And this is just the beginning. The more you explore this world of the subconscious, the more amazed you'll be by its power and complexity.
So to our listeners,
yes,
I encourage you to keep exploring, keep learning.
Keep learning.
Keep paying attention to those subtle whispers from within. Get to know your inner giant.
Get to know your giant.
Learn to speak its language.
Yes.
You might be surprised.
You might be surprised.
At what you discover.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
On this incredible journey.
Yes.
Into the depths.
Into the depths.
Of the subconscious mind.
The subconscious mind.